A bit of potential insight by me though. Um, I kind of notice how Paradox does play his singularity, and he plays it really. He kind of like plays it really detached. It's like he's kind of chasing a survivor, and then will decide to switch to a camera. Oh, by the way, his cameras are really, really well placed. That's also a really important thing. So, if you are gonna want to try main singularity at all, um, then you do have to understand the camera placements. And he does actually get a beautiful camera here. Actually, does find a near teleport onto the ace here, which is going to be Haku, and does actually just teleport on his face. So a little ball tech there to secure this first tag really, really quickly. And you can see here, yeah, it's just again really good. Camera usage does find the tag additionally onto our Rain, and yeah, wow. I mean, to come up to 60 seconds gone, and this down is going to happen really, really soon, I'd say. But it seems like, never mind, Haku's doing an alright job. He gets teleported on, and suddenly he's dead. So that is twice as fast as the previous singularity dance of what I saw from Omen and Zetsuo. So we're in for a while. Just yeah, ultimate based off that start, like Paradox has got ideal start, got good confidence back. He's got a really fast infection as well, and I don't know. I'd be scared if I was Harden if I wasn't already.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. Even sitting here, I'm shaking. One, because it's cold, and two, because this is quite. It's always quite a show seeing what's going on here. But we can already see that everyone's getting themselves their EMPs. They're starting to slow things down. But it's all going to come. I feel like it's all just going to come down to gens rather than outs for this game. There's just no other way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, bro, look at that. The free tag onto our Nia. It's just little things that just added up, and that infection that never got cleansed means this tag comes in. That's Paradox can just head back to this hook. It's actually FTP coming in, very good when it's there, but an immediate follow-up camera from Paradox is just gonna secure the infection. And yeah, again, I feel like the pressure from Paradox, like we see, like I think this is going to be like the 5th tag overall in this trial, and not one generator has popped as of yet. So that's Shack Pallet gone, 2 seconds gone, minus rep on the profile for Haku, and I guess Paradox is just gonna secure this down because there's not really much they can do in this situation. So at least the first gen does pop in the distance. We did hear that, and the resets also did come through with the EMPs, but they still the survivors for Harden, they still need to try and get back into the healthy state because they can't hope to try and contest this hook being injured, and unless they're injured and infected, it's gonna make it. They will want to at least reset. I think one of the survivors, probably Nia, is more optimal. Whoever had the medkit most likely, but yeah, I don't know. It's still doesn't feel like a lot of pressure on the board to me, and yeah, I don't know. It's still gonna be tough. Oh my gosh, that was an angle I didn't expect either.
Yeah, well, he's already hit a few of those angles. That first teleport onto Haku before it Shack. I didn't even see him come around the corner. I just thought, oh, he's just taking a shot. And I don't know how he makes these. They're just. How do you describe them? They're just like God hits.
Yeah, I don't know. He's so experienced on this killer. Oh, it's a good fake by Haku though for this palette. Like you could see that like really really in-depth experience with the God palette. We're just waiting maybe like 3 seconds before teleporting, just like faking maybe the break or something, and then teleporting instead of on the palette, just teleports on the survivor and uses the overclock to try and go for a hit. But unfortunately, it didn't work. It still gets it down anyway later, but this down is at 3 gens, and this is by far the fastest sunlight on Singularity I've seen. And not only is it the fastest sunlight, but like look at this, the 3 injured survivors on. He's been able to accelerate the game. Well, perhaps some credits also due to like some of the survivor mistakes, but the game has been accelerated so much that this first tunnel out has not only happened really early in the trial, but it's also come at the cost of 3 health states um on the final remaining survivors, and they're gonna reset potentially 2 of them here. Is the survivors, but I mean it's a slow, long, and painful process. And actually, Paradox manages to catch Cat Reflex, so I believe it's 7, perhaps behind this main filler. So it's gonna take even more time away from this. Actually, gets another tag, so really beautiful there from Paradox. But again, it's just. Oh my god, I don't know, but like he's just finding like as soon as I'm gonna like commend it, finds another, he gets a and then boom, okay, he gets tagged, and then he's gonna do it again. So, uh, his awareness is great, I think, and he's managing to capitalize really well on just this killer strengths.
Yeah, well, on top of that, we do need to give it to the survivors on this one as well. Noting all the previous results, the fact that Haku has managed to give his team 2 generators for his death, like, that's definitely nothing to be sniffed at, especially that last chase, taking quite a bit of time for Paradox to get down. I wouldn't say, like, what we were saying beforehand, how it's basically going to be a guarantee about all of this, it does put it into a bit of perspective as well of how are they actually able to pull this off. And to be honest, they're kind of putting up one hell of a fight for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point to raise, because you don't need to just have a good killer side if you're trying to win a set. You also need to have a good survivor side. So, I mean, Desolous would surely be scrimming their pick a good amount of times, but still they need to put up at least as good a result as what's being seen here. Otherwise, they just might go away with the point down on the best chance of going to the set point. So, anyway, enough of that. Look at this. Paradox is back in the same spot. He's got 3 injuries, 1 infection, 2 infections now because of that camera, and he's gonna get another potential infection, which gets cleansed. Yeah, I mean, it's just somehow just like these camera positions are really, really. Maybe our survivors could be stealthing them a little better with the crouches, but again, with so many cameras around this area, Paradox is committed. It's just hard to find a good coverage, I guess, for our survivor side. So they're doing an alright job, honestly, on their end. I don't know how to approach it myself to try and avoid the cameras. I hate particularly, so I just probably disconnect halfway through the trial. But yeah, they're putting on a good show here, and Jake unfortunately does go down to the pallet, and yeah, it's just gonna give away another pain res, and the gen progress is just gonna halt yet again. We're just back in the same situation as before, and we don't have a reset either. So it's still gonna be really, really tough. I don't know if they can get another gen done on me.
Well, we can certainly try and believe that they will. I mean, they are. We did just get an infection on someone on a generator. I didn't quite see who it was. Oh, well, it turns out it was the Neo. But one other thing that was also just I was having a quick look at too. There were actually the spikes coming off the generator at main, so he is starting to get those regression events started over there. So maybe if they want to push that just that bit further, they can try and push that. But if they can pop that, I don't see it being I don't see anything less than a 4K2. But it'll just depends on how he defends that back section.
I mean, you can see here the survivors are just running away. He's trying to get the angle of attack with the cameras. Does manage to do so, gets 1 infection for it. And I think it's probably just going to be enough. Unfortunately, that teleport doesn't come through, so he won't be able to immediately start chase. But see someone in the distance. I think it was probably the same survivor. Although I do struggle a little bit with my slight lack of sleep. Yeah, there's going to be Rain just getting down over here. Unfortunate for Cat Reflex, who's also playing under the alias of 7 for that down, because it's going to give away oh actually, no, not painless, so lucky for survivors, but they're going to be death hook instead. So knowing that, I guess the gens are not going to be too high progress anyway, so didn't really need the question. But Yeah, I guess now, now what's there to say? The survivors need to somehow get another gen done. And we haven't even talked about the 3 gen either. I guess it's a bit late for it, but there's like an insane 3 gen on the bot side, I believe. So I don't know. Just even if they do manage to like pop the gens, it's very unlikely they'll get out. So Nia's probably gonna get down here. I don't know if they make any good resources anymore, and they're gonna maybe be on second hook. I mean, maybe Paradox could slug as well, but Vin does get the EMP and the unhook in the background. So this tennis match is going to keep on lasting. Paradox is gonna get hooks. Five is not really gonna get too much back, and whether they can get another gen though, that would be huge. But again, I would say it's extremely unlikely.
Yeah, no, this definitely doesn't look like it's going to be happening anymore.
Yeah, not
They
anymore.
had they had the chance. Things could have been a bit different, but the amount of pressure that's now just been placed on them was way too hard, way too fast.
I agree with that. And it's just like I don't know. Paradox, these camera positions also like I was talking about them before, but they're so devious. They're so they're so precise, and they you know they're just doing wonders for him. Like he's just getting these really fast infections. So that's the experience from Singu coming in for Paradox, and it's actually gonna fake going away and get it down somehow through that. And nevertheless, and Vayne is unfortunately not going to be able to do too much except run like a headless chook around the the map. But again, like what can you really do? Like Paradox has got pretty much full area control of wherever he wants, and he's just getting downs really fast because there's not enough time to reset. So it's gonna be a fast tag. Come kill into Nia, teleport as well, and I'm gonna assume that Singu, Mr. Paradox does just go into this for the death to end this trial as quickly as possible. So um I guess Harden, right? What do they really do now? Like 2v1, not really too much. Maybe they could like go for a trauma tech. I'm not sure though.
I don't know. Like there is no real option. Like Paradox just has them in their hand, in his hand. You can't do anything. But the more that I watch this, the more that I'm watching this, and the more that's understandably not a very he's not a very popular killer. It's so hard to understand how he can keep a track of all of these cameras. Like just keeping a hold of 2 or 3 of them just hurts my head.
Yeah, I have no idea how he does it either, but I mean that's the experience. Uh, I think that the camera is the like that's the main selling point. Like I guess it's easy to look at a singularity and just be like, yeah, you like hold the M2 and you press the M1 and then you go to the camera and then you press M2 and then you do the same thing 50 times until everyone's dead. But then like knowing when to camera, knowing when to teleport, knowing the exact timings and everything. Nice slow vault by the way from Vey. Good understanding of the kill. But again, like just trying to get all these interactions down just takes time. It takes a lot of practice and it's not easy at all. So Palace is gonna get a nice hit through the window to finish off this trial and set it at a 4K. I heard that. That's funny. You don't see that often. But I guess that is gonna be it. So Desolous walks away with a very commanding 4K3 here on Singularity. And yeah, now it's up to Harden to see what they can do. Um, I wouldn't put it out of them to get a 4K3 themselves. But again, it's still a very, very hard result, especially if you consider that Desolous is most likely the scrimming this set. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a close set of matches coming up in this series, and yeah, maybe Harden can line up Smokey, Sith, Monkey, and uh the player I forgot, but they're playing under an alias at the moment, so we'll get confirmation soon. But they did have some nice games. I think it was against Zetsubo in week 3. So I don't know. There's definitely some openings for Freya, but 4K3 are already again very very tough to try and meet.
Yeah, well, with this, once again, we can't count anyone out, especially after the previous Doctor game. Being found in a locker right off the get-go, not what someone wants to do. But we could compare this to a potential start here. Like, mistakes could be made, anything could happen, but in any regard, 4K3 Tycon is one hell of a result to try and catch up to. So I'm wishing Freya big time luck.
I think that's exactly what Mel made here in this trial, well made, because I mean the build is nothing too extraordinary. I did see that choice of rapid, which I think is interesting on Singularity. I'm sure some of the more experienced players that can say whether or not it's optimal. But anyway, we're loading in Freya. Does find a quick tag onto Sith, and yeah, I guess he's just gonna commit this matchstick chase. Doesn't have the teleport just as you get onto Sid. Does do it now though, and does get the overclock going around this, and Sid's actually just jigging around this, and that's a good power drop there from Sid to make it away from this area and just buy more time. So seems like this first down definitely is gonna take a much longer than the previous trial. Sid actually does vault the window, so it's gonna result in the first tag coming through, but yeah, it's still pretty fine. He's got some distance. Maybe he's got a teammate here to help out with the EMP situation. But it seems like no one is here, so they're just hitting gens, so it's not too bad. Alright, so yeah, pretty decent first chase. They do hit the they do get the first gen done, perhaps, before this pain resonance of It's gonna be really close all late. I mean, they get it done, it could be huge. But no, they got a skill check!
Not the exit skill
Oh, hell
check.
no.
I'm putting that one down to Caster's Curse. Like, they almost had that. But don't forget, that's not the only generator that is actually being progressed. There was another one that looked to be about 3/4 being done as well. So, and there it goes as well. So, it's not completely out of the question. So, don't forget, they only need to complete 3 generators to win this set. But like I said, we could be seeing anything happen.
I mean, yeah, Singularity, I feel like can get out of control real quick. Maybe just like a couple of bad macro decisions, and this might potentially be one of them. I did get confirmation. Sorry, this player is not emotionally stable. That is not their alias. So my apologies there. But they're going for the trade after getting infected, and they're just gonna give away another pain res to Freya in this trial. So nice little second hook for Freya. I think they should be pretty happy to take this and just to leave and try and convert some of this extra free pressure from the pain res into something a little bit more tangible, like an injury. But for now, it's just a bit of a patience game. Notice actually now, you can kind of notice how Freya is not really taking the time to set up the cameras too much around the midsection, and you could see like in the previous trial, Paradox had a very what's the term, like a really solid, I guess, control of that middle area thanks to the cameras. But in this trial, Freya's not really able to get those like extremely fast zoning oh, okay, I thought that nearly worked, bro. It's not able to get those like extreme. You can see here, Survivor's just kind of working main for free, just as I say that. Main power is going to get dropped and broken, but at least it allows the unhook to come in the distance. So, yeah, I don't know, it's still definitely possible for Freya here, because these injuries can stack up really, really fast, and so can the infections, as they do take a tag potentially on this main pallet. Yeah, okay, Sid does take the tag, and just loop the main building for now. But again, there's still 4 survivors standing in this trial, and very, very soon, I think in the previous trial, we had Paradox get the first kill. So at least it seems like Freya's actually on the way to this because yeah, that's the second hook for Nia now. 3 hooks on the board is Freya towards that end goal, and this could be problems, team. Yeah, really could be problems for Desolous now because they're sticking to Gen. Wow, they're sticking to Gen, and the 2 non-infected players are injured. So I mean, there's still a good amount of pressure for Freya. Even if this Gen does pop, they might just have to let sit down hook. I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, I don't. Well, there's the Tycon now met, but I don't think that they're going to be let. Speaking of, they're not going to be letting them die on hook. But yeah, the network of you can certainly see the difference in network between cameras of both the sets. Like the way I would see it, this one, it doesn't feel like Freya's putting them up into a proper network. It feels more like Freya's putting them up in a way that's more beneficial for the moment, if you catch it. So
Yeah.
it's the idea is there and the pressure would be going, but it's just not going with it's just not where you need it to be. So you're just going to be moving your cameras all the way around rather than being able to rely on, okay, this one here can look at all of these and then this one's got an extra angle. There's just none of that here.
Again, you gotta give Paradox credit to that, the camera placement for all those extremely good angles, which forced Harden to play really passive. And talking about passive, Smokey does not actually conserve the Shack palette, so again, more minus vet for him as he does continue to chase around Shack. And he should get tagged soon, I believe, without another Vsauce around here, but still, this is buying more and more time for that generator required for the win condition to pop. Yeah, Freya knows it. Is checking the cameras around the generators, kind of using them as a defensive tool like that, but it's not going to be able to capitalize. That's the 3rd generator popping, and that's going to secure Desolous this first set in the best of 3. So very well played to Paradox, I think. He was kind of in the driving seat and set the standard, and he did so in a very brilliant fashion. So Freya's performance is still pretty solid here. Got 4 hooks as of now, 1 death hook as well, but can't find them just as yet. So still got good potential here, just not unfortunately enough to take the first set away from Desolous.
Yeah, well, they may have lost this first one, but let's not forget that they've still got 2 more sets afterwards with a Ghoul and a tiebreaker for Demogorgon if it does ever come down to it. So, yeah. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Ghoul. Ever since his release, it's just been like, meh. But honestly, some of the techs that they've come away with have been very interesting. I believe one of them's the power cancel partway through. It's basically just turns into an insta hit. But I don't know. He looks amazing, but I just don't like him.
When you're describing Go, you just said like kind of there. I kind of remember that day when Ghoul came out and I thought, is this gonna be like a fairly weak killer? Because you have like really good mobility, you have really good ability to injure players, but there's no lethality. Like you can injure people like Legion. You can get around the map fast, but you can't down people. That's what I thought at first. Until I saw him being played in comp, and then what you do in comp is you break every pallet. Once you break every pallet, which half of them you kidnap Echo. So once you break every pallet, then you're just as lethal as a blight because you just go around, you injure someone, then 5 seconds later you're across the map, you injure someone else, then you come back, and they don't have any pallets anymore, so you can just M1. And that kind of play, I don't know, maybe you can see some similarities sometimes between like Singularity and Ghoul in terms of like kind of like feeling like there's not much the survivor can do. But like there's always counterplay to it. It's just you gotta find it and you gotta be aware of what the top end of players are doing to counter it. So it's going to be a nice second hook for Smokey here, being taken on this spot side as Frey does rotate away. Still, again, playing for 4K1, which is still a very impressive result. 3-gen situation isn't looking the best, but it's still definitely holdable considering that the survivors are injured. And when they're injured, of course, they're much easier to get down. And we can see the second infection here makes it really, really safe to work the generators. So I would say it's a 4K1 spot here because you can't really pull Smokey without risking your life on any survivor currently in the trial. So yeah, Smokey is just going to down hook, maybe very maybe you can see Sable. I'll just call them Sable for now. You can maybe see them pop the generator if Freya doesn't check on it, but yeah, you can see he's just on the camera immediately. And that's gonna be 4K1, so okay, not yet. Not yet.
And there it is.
There it is.
But yeah, no, they put up a Freya certainly put up a performance. Still, Paradox does take this set. And once we find Monkey somewhere around on, there he is, then we'll look into getting ourselves prepped up for some Kaneki.
Kaneki, eh? Kaneki. You know, I honestly want to have a bit of a discussion about Kaneki because I haven't seen the balancing for season 4. I'm booting it up right now, but he's going to be on the Blood Lodge, which was one of the sets we saw. He had a ghoul set against Gospel in week 4, and then that I think turned out in Gospel's favor. And then I do remember the rest of that, where Gospel then picked Ghoul against Renewal, and then Renewal then picked Ghoul like later on. So that was kind of funny, little back and forth there on Ghoul. But now we're loading in on Blood Lodge, which is going to be the different from last season's Veteran Shop. And yeah, Ghoul's also got Pain Resonance as well to back up the results here on Blood Lodge. But it is undoubtedly a much larger map than Veteran Shop. Of course, the main difference is going to be this larger dead zones, but at the same time, it's going to be more area to cover. So Murphy's going to take the first tag fairly early in the trial, but it's a ghoul, so what do you expect? And he's just going to continue to chase around Phil. A nice little piling by him. I think he gets stuck on the fire barrel, so that's down, and gives away a first down, I think, much sooner than he really wanted to, as Ray does go for the pickup. See here that Painres is just going to make quick work of this first, what I would assume is double generator. But no, he's actually not taking the Painres, instead going to this mid hook. So I don't really know what the plan is for Desolous right now. It seems like they do want to stall this out, but I haven't seen Ghoul in like a good hella months, old mate. So maybe if you know more, maybe you could enlighten us into what Desolous should be doing.
Honestly, I've not got that much of a thought on it as well. I mean, the only thing I can think of at this point in time is just saving the pain reses for later, and just as they're doing now, just set up their eruption. The unfortunate thing is my lovely little head isn't just constantly thinks of the Spider-Man theme when watching this, because the amount of slinging that this one does, and it's just as much as I don't like him, I can still have some kind of fun.
Yeah, and that's a really close vault coming through from Ray. It's not going to come through. Smoky's going to drop the track power, and it's still again a really cracking start. That now you say it, I think I'm going to be thinking of Spider-Man. Oh, how did I miss, bro? Oh my god, that's crazy. And now Smokey gets away back to this filler. I think maybe that was already broken, and yeah, Ray does get the successful body block there, but I'm surprised I missed, and I think that a little bit of time waste is just gonna help. It's just gonna help Desolous quite a lot. Yeah, this gen pops now, and Ania can get away from this very nicely. So does the second one as well. So this is actually good pressure for our survivor side. Imagine if our ghoul was like already across. Maybe we could have gotten a tag if that hit went through the window. But anyway, that's all hypothetical. So Vayne instead is just gonna head towards mid map, sees the Crow reset, but Ed said decides to go to edge map. Sees a Crow reset as well here. So yeah, there is someone around here. It's healthy by the looks of it. So I'll just go for a little tag here onto Ania. Look at how fast that is, by the way. That was like completely unavoidable. And just head back to hook, of course. I think the way that you're supposed to play against Ghoul for the counterplay is okay. They also reset. That's not ideal because no one's there for the ball. But I think the way that you counterplay is you're supposed to count the charges that the Ghoul time he goes for the Kagune leap. And like Blight, if you count the charges, you can kind of count the recharges and the recharge rate and make a play depending on that. But again, that's requiring so much coordination. Like every second. Oh, okay. Swing and a miss. Interesting. But like again, every second matters when it comes down to the Kaguna leap. Like being 1 second short means that the ghoul goes like 15 extra meters closer. So anyway, it's a quick little pain res for Vay. I'm actually surprised it didn't run out quickly, but as we know, old mate, look at this. Okay, boom, boom, and boom. Smokey's already caught up to. Like, that's incredible. Even on the clock.
Yeah. Just the traversal on Ghoul is just nothing to be sniffed at. I just it's just the amount of play, especially when I'm looking at them in pubs, it's just they're everywhere. You get someone off of hook, they're already there. And then by the time that they're done with anything, they've already crossed back to the other side of the map. It's just crazy. And I'll just never get over that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of players were considering Ghoul. Actually, no, I think Hens had a poll on Twitter a while back asking whether Ghoul was stronger than Blight. I don't remember how that turned out, but the fact that Ghoul is being compared to Blight, I think is pretty incredible. Anyway, Ray's going to take a nice little tag here eventually onto Sith on this palette. If the mechanics do work out here, which they should, because Ghouls, of course, are really pretty easy to get their community tag with, but gets that palette out of the way. Actually, gets the palette into the champion of light. So Sith manages to get away just a little bit. As look at that, Ray's now all the way 2 tiles across in just like 2 seconds. Takes a quick M1 and decides what to do here. Monkey's been seeing a gen for a while though, old mate. So I think that gen might be close to like you don't hear progress here, but he's definitely been around. Oh yeah, he's definitely. Never mind. We did hear progress, except I'm perhaps just deaf. So, yeah, maybe not an ideal spot for Monkey. Not for Monkey, for Anger. Then just a bit unfortunate because this is really the only gen that had good potential. Apart from Shaq, but he got forced off it. So, Pain Res it's gonna make you go down to 0.
And failing the body block as well. So let's see what Sith can pull out of their back. Not a lot coming out of the bag of tricks just there, but we are heading straight back to that tunnel. It's fallen apart on them.
I mean, I don't know what our survivors can do on that. I'll be honest, because again, they're playing on ping. I haven't said that before. They are playing on quite a fair amount of ping. So, I think Ghoul is probably going to feel worse than a lot of the other killers because he's just going to like teleport to you, and then it'll be like if I had 20 ping like a Sydney player, then I would make the vault, but I'm on 120, so I don't make the. Which kind of sucks, but hey, at the end of the day, at least the opponents have to play on the same ping difference as well. So, Nia's gonna get the Kagune mark as well, and they're gonna be forced to mend very very soon. But they're, I guess, just looking to find the final healthy survivor and get them injured. Because I think once that happens, then like the game slows down by so much that like the gens are pretty much for sure going to do. Like if you have like this tag comes through, then every reset that's attempted is risky, right? Because you have to send 200 there, and yeah, the gens are just gonna go all the way to 0. So
Yeah, this is
that's why I'm still playing this well, honestly. But it's just hard. It's hard for me to know what they should do, you know.
yeah, we can actually compare this straight away to the Singularity set. Everything now that they've just everyone's injured, it's just not gonna come. Everything's gonna be such a standstill. Because either you choose for your resets, which are pretty much gonna be null and void for with this one, or you just hang it out, in which case the mobility is just gonna get you down anyway. So, what is your choice going to be?
I guess it's like oh, if you want it your way, I'll have it my way. Then in different bands, and it seems like this 4K3 is a complete reverse of what Paradox got in the previous trial. So yeah, I guess Ray's just going for this fun chase, seeing what they can do. Maybe we can have a nice chase from Monkey to just finish off this trial, but it's a nice firecracker. Unfortunately, didn't land as he does head towards this mid map. He's trying to find safety, but will not find any. He does have the unfortunate junk there instead of filler on the Charlotte turf. So he's going down. Final time of 20 seconds. So pretty shabby chase, eh? Nah, that was a joke. He had absolutely nothing to work with. So yeah, this is gonna spell a 4K3 for Harden, which is most likely going to be hard for Desolous because, again, like we were talking about, Paradox 4K3 was gonna be hard to meet. Well, Ghoul 4K3 is gonna be hard to meet as well.
Yep, those roles have completely reversed. Now we'll just see what happens round up. Whatever am I saying? But we'll see how that all comes out. Like we keep saying, anything could happen in these games. Like we've had like that start on Smokey. Catch was really fast. So yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Chat, what is 1000 minus 7? One day I'll figure it out. Yeah, no minor play, my lord. This is this is new tech. I thought no minor was reserved for 2 killers only. Actually, maybe twins, but I don't think twins. So 2 killers only Plague and Billy, but maybe maybe we got some cookery coming in on Blood Lodge here for oh my gosh, for Harden. That's crazy to see.
Yeah, well, it's going to be certainly an interesting setup. It's almost like the roles have been completely reversed. We had in the previous set we had such a unanimous win condition, and now we've got it reversed on this one. So Monkey better be pulling out something from them bag of tricks. But we've already just found our first survivor. It did take us a little bit of time, but we have got something going for us. What's Haku up to? Probably W keying all the way down to Shaq. Yep.
And I mean, he's got a lot of good pallets around here, so I would not be surprised if Haku can last this chase. But yeah, as you were saying before, it is a complete reverse of this trial, the previous set of the Singularity, where so 4K3, very convincing 4K3 by Paradox, and now saw 4K3 by Ray. And Monkey's definitely putting on a good performance here on the Ghoul, but wow, Haku's a pretty juicer, holy, and Monkey's gonna lead this actually on Shaq. I find that surprising. I would have assumed the commit happened, but knowing it's a Kaneki, of course, you can just get another injury just like that. And there is going to be the second. So Crane's gonna get dropped. I'm surprised that happened. 2 charges used, but I don't want to take any chances like this first chase. It's gonna be another leave for Monkey, so definitely got the injuries on the board. But at the same time, he needs to capitalize on this quite soon, I think, before the resets, and I would say the first few generators start to pop, because once that happens, it's like pretty much irreversible. Monkey does find the stealth. No, he completely looks past the stealth. Sees the crow fly off now, so surely he checks this corner. Surely he should see Arcade here, but doesn't. Oh my god, that would have been one of the craziest stealth. That would have been the craziest find. But Arcade, Vin just gets away from that. I think that is one of the most crucial stealths for Harden here. Even though, again, kind of cut out. K3 is an incredible performance for the Survive side to try and beat. You know, that having that additional health state to work with and to stealth with, oh my god, it's going to make a huge difference here, especially since this first hook is probably coming soon with Haku playing this unsafe filler here. It does get down to the pallet, so you can see here now Vin is in an op to go for this unhook, and that's a lot of time being bought. That's the first gen done, so really nice stuff. That was probably the injured pair doubling Shaq there. So yeah, now Vin can go stealth very deep in the edge map, and Monkey has to try and try their best to try and interrupt this, but they have absolutely no idea where Vin is. And yeah, look at this, he's made their way all the way to this 12 side. Yeah, really good rotations coming in. So I think just that one play by Vin, that one stuff, it's just incredible that it wasn't found there, but really good patience there from Harden's side of survivors. And yeah, they're getting rewards out of this. 2 resets now, and yeah, Monkey's kind of losing a bit of control over the... Seemed pretty promising at the start of the next, but yeah, now old mate, it's okay. Unhook does come through. Monkey can't find an angle. He does get an angle, but Tonlight's got a lot of distance away from this. So yeah, I don't know. This chase has to be really short. No matter who he chases, to try and secure this tie or a win in this second set.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's gonna have to happen real soon. But that, ooh,
Oh
no, he's got it. He's
God.
got it. I honestly thought that was going to be a mistake, an overshot, but he's come back with it. But the other thing that I'd like to point out as well is if we remember in that in the other Ghoul game, those 2 generators that went off pretty much went off at the same time. This time we've got a little bit more time between between the first and second gens, and as we've already seen, as we can see now, we found, I believe that's the most high progress generator. But the pressure just doesn't feel like it's there as much, but you can still feel like it's putting them on edge.
I mean, they get the unhook and the reset too, so like it's a really good play here from both sides here. Monkey is, I feel like, on the back foot here, just knowing that is going to be so demanding, I think, of his gameplay, and he's just trying the mind games here on the RL tab, and it's actually going to work because Haku did vault in, but is still not got enough distance to go for this, and he gets a tag through the wall. Oh my god, that's a huge find here. That's this zone to come through. That's the generator popping in the background near. But Haku's still playing out this pallet. Maybe he actually just wants to die on the pallet, and try and force this out. But no, never mind. That's going to be the win. So really well played. Haku's still playing this chase out incredibly well. There's a smash it as well. Little palving fake as well, and really good patience is going to allow this palm to be made. But yeah, now it's 1-1, and we're going to the demo rock run, everyone. The demo. Back to Wrecker's Yard we go. One of the favorite killers of the time, I think. After the set, of course, because Monkey is still doing incredible.
I don't know how to take that pronunciation of demo, but we'll take it for this one. But we've still got plenty of time left with this Ghoul set here. We'll obviously be playing for the best result just to show off some of these skills that Monkey has got. But yeah, as we can see, we've got the unhook back there. Oh right, I forgot. There was no Mither in this game. I completely forgot. But we do have a chase out on Rin. Actually, we're going to pull off of that one for now and just kick the generator. No, just see what we can find. Which our lovely little caller, the Brian, is going to give up, and we're going to see who we've got up on this generator.
Yeah, now you talk about Cold Blind, I sort of I'm sort of curious on. I think. Oh, is Columbine getting that? I don't remember. But like, yeah. Now we're mentioning Columbine. It does like remind me of the upcoming nerfs in the next P2B patch, which I did kind of mention before, but didn't really talk about. Um, Columbine isn't. It's either like not getting affected or it's getting 25 or it's getting like buffed. So, whatever the case though, the big ones are getting hit pretty hard. So Painless is going to feel pretty awful at 12%. Pop is going to feel awful at like 15% or like 10%. And I think Eruption is going to 5%. But that's actually the one change which I theorize will not really make much old mate. Because like Painless, okay, Painless, there's still going to be some killers that run Painless, but I don't know, 12%. I don't know if it's worth it. Like we might see some more exotic picks come in.
Yeah, well, let's not forget that because of the backlash for the anti-slug and anti-tunnel coming through, they weren't actually going to be doing those changes, which means I don't believe that the
Okay.
perk changes will be coming through as well, at least not for most of them. So we still could be seeing our 15% pain res. What is Pop at the moment? Pop's at 20 right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Painless is at 22, right? Or is it?
I thought
Is it? Is
I
it
thought they
15?
reverted it. I thought they reverted it back to 15 because it was 15 and then 20 and then they reverted it back and did a bunch of other things to it. But either way, it's been annoying. It's been annoyingly changed just as much as Pop Goes the Weasel has throughout it the entire years.
Yeah, I mean, Painres is like, I think Painres is like one of the in terms of it's really simple, but it's been nerfed so many times. It's crazy. It's actually crazy how many times. When it first released, I remember it came out as like 15% every time you hook on a white hook. So every time you just find a white hook, you just slap the survivor on, and there's free regression. Then they were like, that's too good. You know, we're gonna make it only 4 times. It only activates 4 times per trial, but you know, whenever you do hook, it's larger now, so 25%. And then they're like, oh, 25% is too much though. You need to put it down 20%. And then 20% is too much. That's why we're putting it lower than the. So now Painless used to activate 12 times at 50%. Now it's gonna 4 times at 12%. I don't know. I find that fun, but maybe Ruin buff is gonna turn some players away from hyper aggression, hyper aggressive like gen aggression, and just go back to Ruin. That is 4 generators of the trial popping though.
Oh, there's the stealth coming in. So let's get our chase started up. With Ray going around the back one. And the pallet stun right off the leap. So let's see what we can do here. Hopefully Cat is going through for that reset. But Ray is just... I don't think Ray has much going on here. I mean, we've got the Z wall, but straight into the corner we go. But I think all the all resources in that back corner got used, and we can actually see this final generator being worked on rather than going for the pickup, getting that shown up, and we get a pain res. But it looks like we're just going for best results at this. I mean, we are going for best results, but just to see how far we can push it, get those numbers up. But for now, we've got the reset coming up, and hopefully, the big hope is that we can get Ray off hook and finish that generator. But Monkey's still holding strong. We could still see that 4K1 kicking in. But no, just can't see anyone. Just get. Come on, is he gonna get that mark? We get the mark right off of. Holy shit, that was actually a long distance. But now we're gonna leave Ray, and who have we got back here? Was it Cat that went all the way back, or did Cat stay at Shack? No, and Cat's down here, which means we've got Ren up all the way up the other end. Make this one pallet last, and we don't get it. Wow, that is actually such a close play. But we will play around this as much as we possibly can, seeing what we can do. Oh, we're going to get the jump, and there's the down. Oh. But for now, we'll just keep this, hold this, we'll just keep holding this going. See if we can keep that 4K1 dream still alive. And we're getting here. We are on second hook. We've one unhook, but we are on the we were on the trail beforehand of Nia, but instead we're just gonna head back to this, see if we can get the tunnel out. Honestly, is the tunnel out even gonna be worth it? I mean, the game's pretty much just like you've just got control. There's no reason to disappear into anything else. But we are going to use that balanced landing and jump into this TNL, see how long we can last. Maybe if we can make a little bit of a mistake, we can also make our way over to Shaq. But I don't think that's going to be happening here. We're going to get the down. But we can also see the Call of Brine, more Call of Brine value coming through with those good skill checks hitting. But oh, right, Eruption. Okay, I was completely wondrous about why there was aura. I didn't hear any screams. So, yeah, a little bit of Eruption value, but just letting it go, trying to get this gate sorted out. But, oh, nah, probably better off just sticking between the two gates. The gate that you can see and, oh, no, there's Nia. We've got one window, and I think one window, a Z wall, and a dream. I don't believe there's. Oh, I thought this was thrown like ages ago. But no, we could be getting. Maybe we could be getting extra stages out, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. But we can already see. We already know that we've got Shaq lit up. Maybe we can get Ray out of position. Maybe not. But I doubt that we're going to be getting I doubt that we're going to be getting an extra stage out of the gate unless for some unholy reason we get some kind of a hit that's just not meant to be. And down goes Cat. We've got the other two leaving, and that is it. So, get ourselves a nice little Mori. But we will be heading over to our last set of the night, our lovely little tiebreaker, Demogorgon. Taking us over to Wrecker's Yard.
Gameplay. Do miss yelling at Smokey half the time, you know, back on the Survivor set of things. I'm pretty sure everyone on Copium actually was able to remember that. But nevertheless, we'll be loading in now and we'll be seeing the big monster of a man on the killer himself spawn in on what seems to be the the bottom side of the map over at 7 now. Got to be roaming around to see if we can find those pesky survivors over at the top side of the map. Now, old mate, you've been here the whole entire series. What have you seen and what can you keep me up to date with? Because I know the score, I didn't know what really happened.
Honestly, it's been very one-sided for the picks. I mean, we got Paradox getting a 4K2, I believe it was. Then we got a 4K3. Yo, that's interesting. We also got a 4K3 on the Kaneki. Both extremely one-sided both extremely one-sided games. Now coming into the Demogorgon, it's I don't know, like the pressure just feels a lot more to me, considering it's just been extremely high it's been extremely high rated games. Like I don't know how exactly to word it, like everything is being mixed up. But I feel like there's a bit more of a competitive side in there now due to just how everyone's played.
No, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I would have presumed so with all everyone winning their picks from what it had seen, but nevertheless, taking on into more recent events, we're going to be taking this chase onto Rin, who's going to be running all the way from mid down to 2, going to be using this filler pallet over in here. No, opting to breed it, very nice stuff. No exhaustions to work with on the side of Demogorgon sets, unfortunately, for our ping survivors, so this could prove to be pretty detrimental now. Doing a little bit jiggy on the side of Rin is able to really maneuver around those hits, and getting that stun ever so nicely is going to be able to make them to break away all the way down to the 2 side of the map and try to use whatever they have at their disposal. But it doesn't look like there's much at the moment. We are running into nothing because we've already thrown the pallets in this vicinity. We are opting to go for a good death location over at the side of 12, which means they're probably working the generators over at 6 and probably 7. Smokey getting a little bit antsy there, canceling the shred and then M1ing thin air. Not too sure what was happening there. Maybe some nerves coming in, but Rin just really making good of this chase now, and Smokey ultimately able to get the down in the end, which is some very nice stuff. Going to be taking the pick onto Rin, and now hopefully we can get a pain res hook to slow down the pressure. We do see 6 popping in the background. I'm not too sure where the other gens are at this point in time. We could probably get a quick flick around, and there's one over at 9, but we are pretty close to wiggling, but we're not, I don't think in the end we're going to be able to make this. It's just so unfortunate that the pain res was so far away that we couldn't actually interrupt that 9 generator, but we did manage to interrupt that 11 generator, so not all is lost. But now we're going to be taking the 3rd chase on the trial onto Hakuji, who was our first hook survivor. This is the resumed tunnel out, if you will, but doing a little bit of nice dodging out of the way, and the slap at the pallet in the face of Smoky Hellfire. He's not going to want any of that. He's going to opt to drop his tunnel out once more, reset a little bit. So at the moment, he has options of whether he wants, on who he wants to chase. He can either chase Rin, he can either chase Hakuji once more. And I think with the beamer click just there, we've opted to initiate the chase over here at 5. Some maybe some friendly banter here going on, but we're going to be playing this little filler here. It's not really the strongest of all. You can be seen over it, and Smokey can easily mind game this, and Hakuji trying to be a little bit too greedy with that is going to eat that M1 and go all the way down to 6. And once again, I don't really think there's much here, but hopefully we can last just a little bit longer in these chases, and getting a little bit mind gamed over here at bottom 6, and that'll just be Hakuji going down and potentially even being tunneled out when they're off hook, old mate.
Yeah, well, that was absolutely one hell of a chase. Sitting here thinking to myself, go you good thing. But the one thing that I really wanted to notice is how much gen pressure was actually being pushed out during that chase. Because we noticed that there was 2 generators that were right on each other until that pain res. We're going to be probably seeing, no, we're not going to be seeing this 4th gen pop. He's actually taken it all the way back. And who have we got here for chase? We have Cat Reflexes, who's going to get them nimble fingers to them pallets, and we're going to get that save down the other end. Now, what do we got to work with? We've got, okay, so they're just going to stick matchsticks into the pallet, but honestly, it's just not looking good for Smokey. I mean, the gen pressure has just been absolutely wild by the survivors, and there's just I don't see a way for him to really come back with it. I mean, he could probably maybe get a, well, we can see the gen popping in the back there. Maybe we could get a fresh hook right at the end of the game to get those extra 3 stages, but I'm not seeing a way that he's going to be getting a clean 4K.
Yeah, I mean, they're really making him work for it at the moment. Pre-dropping this pallet, and going to be able to vault that as well. Harden playing out of their mind, and as it stands, we only have 3 stages on the board, and after this, another fresh hook. Hopefully we can get another pain res here, but yeah, this is only going to spell 4 stages at the moment. So yeah, pretty dicey. You are right, old mate, in saying that. And now when we take that first fresh hook onto Cat Reflex, otherwise known as 7, we're going to be going all the way down to 2, where we do spot out our Nia pre-drop on the pallet here. This is Ray, which does seem to be another fresh hook. So maybe if we can down Ray and camp them out to death, because I don't think we're going to be able to 4K this match, but that'll really aid us in getting those extra stages that we need to pull it back to like a 7-4 stage Tycon. So, you know, in all honesty, that wouldn't be the worst thing for a set like Demogorgon. And oh my god, these guys are just playing absolutely incredible. He's dodged that twice via the crouch tech, and Smokey, yeah, he's getting a little too restless. He needs to kind of recollect, reset, but I don't think there's really enough time for it, considering how far progressed that 5 generator is. And well, actually, no, they're 2 splitting that as well. I failed to realize that, but regardless, if one gets interrupted, the other one will pop, and we do see it there. So Now we're just going to continue on the chase onto Hakuji here, who is probably the survivor that we don't want out of all 4 left in the trial, as he is Death Hook. So he's just going to opt to like chase around this 5 tire while we get gates in the background opened, and everything's just gone from looking pretty upright for Smokey to looking pretty downright, unfortunately, and now vaulting back into Smokey Shred, and that's going to be Hakuji down once more. Man, oh, that was a little bit rough to watch, I can't lie, but you know, 5 stages in the end, 3 hooks. It's not the worst we've seen. It's definitely not the best we've seen. It is amongst just slightly underneath enough. This shouldn't really necessarily be a problem. I'm not too sure what the scrims for Demogorgon were like over on the side of Desolous, but they were definitely apparent there for Harden, old mate.
Well, oh, sorry, my head was spinning a little bit. But we are starting to load in, and honestly, it's going to be a kickback. I see that Ray is going to be our Demogorgon for this run, and really, they just need to do a sit back. I mean, 5 stages honestly isn't that much, but so considering what we've seen generator-wise beforehand, we could just see another gen rush effectively, to the point of, well, just a bit of an upset, I guess.
Potentially. I mean, you know, again, it goes back to the thing. It goes back to the fact that I was saying a little bit earlier. Is yeah, have a good chase first right off the bat. Ideally, take away from the active generator. Look at the corrupt spawn here. I mean, it's kind of awkward. We do have uncorrupted 7, uncorrupted Shack, and I do believe uncorrupted 9, and somewhere around there, the more the top side of the map. But gonna be taking chase onto Monkey over here in Deep 6, and this isn't really setting you up for the long chase that I was talking about. But if we're able to win this short filler, maybe no, we are going to be getting tagged, and that is a very early tag on the side of Monkey, who has been caught out of position. So I mean, once again, not really much to work with once they really get down to the, you know, this shallow 6 area where there's just a cart, some tires, no pallet, and just doesn't have enough distance to be able to make the shot. Really unfortunate stuff. I mean, already off the bat, we're pretty much a quarter of a way to our win con here on the side of our killer. Just shy of it. We're a 5th to our win con, so we do have some gen pressure in the background. Or granted, though, it's not much, and the pain resonance is even going. That is going to be applied onto our survivor team. Is going to make that even harder. So we are going to be taking the kick onto generator over at 11. So it does seem that one generator has been interrupted, and one has been interrupted via Pop Goes the Wheels, or one has been interrupted via pain resonance. So definitely not good for our survivors. And now we're going to be taking chase onto Sith. He's going to be running all the way down to these LNTs, trying to fake the L, but not quite working out in their favor. Ray just a little bit too smart for that gameplay, and now going to be continuing on the chase all the way down to Deep 6. So they're just opting to go for death locations as opposed to chase. I do like this idea somewhat, but unfortunately there's really nothing for them to work with. And again, it comes down to also just like the unforgivable RNG that they're handed. But at the same time, I mean, they're not really preserving the resources as much as we saw the survivors from last game doing. They're also going for like some jiggy and crouch techs and greeting a lot. And with these boys, you've probably seen more or less a lot of aggressive pre-drops, which is probably not what you really want to be doing in a scenario like this. But nevertheless, this will be taking the second hook of the trial. Once again, still moving the game over in the background on the side of the other 3 survivors. Smokey caught out here over at 12. Doesn't really have much to run to again, but we're going to be opting to play this jungle gym where the active generator is, so not ideal. We are going to be able to make this pallet though, so we're going to be pre-dropping that in the process of trying to make immense distance from that. We're going to probably use the shack here, but we do have access to this nice filler pallet over at the mid-12 side, and now I've got to be not making that window. And if you know Smokey Hellfire, you know he is not quite happy about that hit at all.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty dirty hit to see. But as you were saying beforehand, they're just running down to 6. They're not really doing much. They have such a tight win condition, and just, to me, it's not showing that they're really caring about it. It's almost as if they've given up on this entire set. Because just running straight to 6 where they know that there's nothing. They do have a bit of gen pressure going on, but it's just instantly being reverted. So I'm not it just doesn't look like they're really trying to win this.
I do. Also, on that note, I do apologize. I've misinformed everyone. That was Monkey in chase that whole entire time, and I know the chat's gonna rip me a new one for that one. But now we see Smokey again, just running down to that 6 tile and just going down. Ultimately, to be another pain rest stack. I do apologize, Monkey. I do apologize, Smokey. But nevertheless, we'll be taking the first hook onto Smokey here. I was just so used to the ace being Smokey. I can't lie. I mean. You know, it's not every day you see him on the lorry. I don't know what's happening here. I must be living in an alternate universe, but Ray gonna be trying to look for this next chase, and we do spot. I think this is Monkey once more. Go for the window, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it is just kind of being caught out of position, being slapped as well. Just gonna be trying to make this L and T over at 2. Gonna be vaulting the L, but again, only having this filler pallet to work with. We're able to dodge and make the stun as well, but we haven't really bought ourselves enough distance to really work with anything. So going to be using this shit truck here over at 3, trying to make this other filler pallet over at 2, but we're not going to be able to make it, a little too far from that. So mighty unfortunate stuff on there on the side of the survivors, and that will spell the 4th stage of this trial. So it can't give anything up anymore. The next time another stage happens, it is the Tycon. So, but in all honesty, all the killer has to do at that point is just camp to 2nd, and they've won. So, again, we're looking to be in a really bad spot on the side of our survivors. But we are taking chase back onto 11 over at this crane, and we're going to be able to greed that and make all the way down to this hee ha ha tile over at mid 10 on the side of not emotionally stable. Going to be eating that tag and going all the way down to mid 12. And the pallet has been dropped here, but once we vault this window, we do have access over to the pallet over at 2, but, you know, we're not even able to really catch onto that with windows of opportunity as well of all perks, and now I do say this is going to be just not emotionally stable down, so not quite having the chase they would have liked, but again, taking that pick on the side of Ray, and he's just in such a power position at the moment, so, you know, 3v1 at 3 generators remaining, this is quite literally the opposite of where you want to be on the side of the survivors. And now we are at the Tycon, meaning if we are to take this tie back to another tiebreaker set where we could potentially win, nobody can go down, as we will have lost the game on the survivors end. But Ray just being able to put on this performance is actually quite daunting for the survivors, and we do see just the near miss onto Smoky Hellfire, who's going to be vaulting this window back into mid 12. Again, not really much to work with, I dare say, when he's going to be getting tagged. He's probably going to go all the way down to 2 over at that pallet, or even to mid 10, but we have opted to go all the way down to mid 12, where we're going to be interrupting another active over at the shack. I mean, some interesting pathing as well. Going to be trying to fake the window, not quite working out in our favor, trying to dodge the shred, and just going to be going down at shack pallet. So again, there's not much you can do here. In all honesty, I think it's just a matter of time before Ray finds Sith. I'm not too sure if Ray would have heard the little healing proc there, and I'm pretty sure he did. So Sith going to be going for the last chase of the trial. Going to try and make do with whatever the hell he has. I mean, he might be able to make this trade here over at the mid 10 tile just before the 2nd stage is hit onto not emotionally stable, but that will spell him going down. And now emotionally stable has to really pull something out of the hat if they are to try and turn this around to maybe get 1 extra gen done. I don't see any other better result happening here. The endurance status effect still in effect over at the shack for the window. That must have been a millisecond. Some very fortunate stuff for the side of not emotionally stable, but again, the down is just imminent here. I mean, anybody who's played this game long enough knows that they're not really going to be able to pull anything back here in a situation like this. So ultimately, 4K3, it is the end of the series as the win has gone to Harden. So it is a 2-1 in the end. Thoughts, old mate?
Honestly, both sides have shown quite heavy strengths, but it's also just shown, to me, what I would say to be quite heavy weaknesses as well. Just extremely low, extremely low scores on their non-picks, which understandable is something that's expected, but at the same point, it felt like both teams weren't so prepared for what they were really coming up against. One thing I would probably say as well is Smokey running to Shack on that second one probably had the probably still had that thought in his head of that hit that he got hit through the window earlier. May have been the reason why he went for the fake. It just no. This was just an extremely hard fought game. Really good series, but I think it just shows just how much some of these people really put into their game.
No, yeah, definitely. And with that being said, with the last game of the week ending, um, that will be all. We will be seeing you next week, though, so stay tuned. We will have some extraordinary matches as we are heading more and more towards the end of the group stage. It's kind of flown by this tournament. I can't lie. I mean, like we did have a 5-week group stage in mind in effect as it currently stands with a 4-week finals phase. So, it should all be fun and exciting games. And, with some of the groups just so close together, you really never know who's really going to pull through those top three spots out of their 6-man group. So, I mean, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But I mean, again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be back with more games. The pick and bans will be opened later tonight as well, or they should be open later tonight, fingers crossed. You will be notified with your teams and whatnot. Thank you, everybody, for joining with us today. Old mate, it was a pleasure casting with you for the one set that we had, but that will be all. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned. Keep posting in Discord for all the socials, the Twitter and the Twitch and the YouTube. So make sure that's all done so you never miss a damn thing. That'll be all. I've been Hunter. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, peace, and stay safe.